you can see that the group is appearing at the bottom right of your screen to see what's going on in that group. I just realized that I started with a 4 versus 4, so let's go that way. Normally it's the first game is supposed to be 1v1, but anyway the 3 games are gonna be played, so it won't change that much. Okay, so as you can see, actually in that group, Eidolon definitely needs points. It does have 0 points, but it lost versus Odette. In case Eidolon can't win against Phyrexx, it's gonna be an elimination for Eidolon. So definitely Eidolon needs to get 2 victories, I would say, against Phyrexx. This version I'm using is supposed to be a version with the issue related to the university being fixed. I hope that Enmipho gave me the good version, the latest one, with the fixed issue. We will see if it's the case. Maybe the 4 versus 4 should be the game won by Eidolon, especially because I think that Phyrexx doesn't have any specific strategy as Pocket, while Eidolon should have, I hope. I don't remember if it does. The danger for Eidolon is the fact that Phyrexx is pretty aggressive in Feudal Age. That could hurt a lot Eidolon in 1v1, 2v2. So, but anyway, I didn't test those 2 AIs against each other. I don't know how it could turn, but I've got the feeling that the Phyrexx strategy, really aggressive, can be a real problem. Okay, so we see that Eidolon does have some militias, some men-at-arms. It's actually not hurting its closest enemy. That's interesting. It's attacking the pocket. And it managed to kill 1 villager. So let's say that it's definitely not... well, it did work, I would say. So after that men-at-arm rush, we've got 2 archer range for grey. What about green? It looks like green did make 2 men-at-arms too. I see that it already lost 2 units. Let's focus on grey. I'm curious to see if it eventually go to attack its closest enemy, which is the purple actually. So main unit is actually archer range, while the opponent has fewer skirmishers added to the archers. Green does have actually a lot of units, 20 units, while grey is a bit late. For some reasons Phyrexx is actually not attacking. Oh, this lumber camp is hurting Teal. That's a shame. Fortunately, it keeps gathering some wood. Okay, so the first attempt from Grey didn't work that much. Oh, Green is focusing on Purple for some reasons. It's crossing the whole map. Purple does have more units than its opponent. Okay, everyone in Eidolon's team is actually in Castle Age. Can he take an advantage from this? It's pure TSA for Eidolon. It's sending its units one by one regarding the town size. And now it can be afraid of the Red's army, which might have already, but in Arrow it's the case. The Arrow is joining raid. The target looks to be the blue player. I would say that Phyrexx is not that far from playing like Strongbow would do. And what about Teal? Okay, eventually Teal does have a decent lumber camp, but it's so late compared to the population of its ally, 33 population. And Blue forgot to train any military, it's just booming actually. It's a shame that it's actually focused by the enemy. That way the boom can't work. Okay, it's building a castle with one villager only. Okay, it looks like Eidolon, when he sent me the link to download the new version, it looks like he just sent me the previous version and not the last one, in which it was supposed to have fixed that university's issue. It's a shame. It looks like Phyrexx Castle Age army was devastating. None of the Eidolon could face that crazy assault from so many crossbows. And in fact, Blue is in Imperial Age. But with almost nothing. just few villagers. Well, at this stage the game is over. I'm just waiting for a convincing attack against blue. And I agree with Marathon. In fact, Hans crossbows are pretty strong. For some reasons, people prefer to train cavalry archers. But when you see that game, you can notice that it's definitely better to go just crossbows. I hope that Viper is gonna watch this streaming and notice to make a new meta with the hands. So, okay, I'm very close to give the victory to Phyrexx. I'm already gonna give 1 point, 1 deserved point. Okay, that's it, man. First game and first victory for Phyrexx. And I hope that Enmipho will have time. If it is if he is confined in its house because of the virus, he might have time to work a bit more on his AI. So the second game is gonna be Viking versus Huns. So if you guys did watch Eidolon playing against Odette in the previous set, we saw that Eidolon did play pretty well in the early game. I think that it's partly because Odette is kind of passive in early game, so that way Eidolon could play its game without being hurt. And it managed to be very fast in researching Castle Age, faster than Odette. So that could be maybe the key. It will depend on Phyrexx, the way it's gonna be aggressive. If Eidolon can mass crossbows faster than its opponent, let's say that everything is possible. Phyrexx, okay, Phyrexx did manage to hold a good lumber comp. Okay, fortunately Eidolon did well this time. Not like the Teal in the previous game, which failed its lumber comp placement. Okay, it actually missed 2 ships. It did find the boar. Is this the first one or the second one? I think it looks to be the second one. And Phyrexx is definitely an AI which could be pretty strong if we add some stuff related to the user patch 1.5. It does have the strategy to kill a lot of modern AIs. And Eidolon did find its opponent. It wasn't that hard. Their position is almost perfectly as mirror from each other. Okay, and this time once again we've got an attack with men at arms, actually militians, but it might be upgraded fastly. It's the case. Let's see if it can hurt. It's a shame it's actually focusing a building. It's probably because it didn't find... Yes, it didn't find the lumber camp, which would have been a better target. Now the lumber camp is found. I would say that Man-at-Arm rush was eventually not too bad. At least it's made enemies units busy the time required to start massing some arches. But Phyrexx managed to have more units than its opponent. Now it's all about the capacity to be fast, to reach Castle Edge faster than its opponent. For Eidolon, that is the key. Maybe it should wait for the crossbows to start to attack with its orange units. And in fact that's already a lot of range units, from 3 archer range actually against 2 archer range. And okay, it might have the crossbows pretty soon now. Okay, but Arrow is researched as a priority. And we've got crossbows, but I'm scared that it will lose all its range units before having crossbows. That's so sad. Bad timing for Eidolon. And now Red is probably gonna start to attack. Pretty bad timing. Okay, so the rush is starting right now for Red. I'm scared for Eidolon. 35 units again 14. And of course Phyrexx will have suicidal behavior against the TC. It won't reiterate, but anyway it actually can keep pressing regardless the units which can be dead against the TC. And we've got cavalry archers from Hans. And that might be unstoppable. And Phyrexx is actually taking the lead even in civilian population. So, of course, we want to see a new version of Eidolon against John Mendel, which gonna be the next opponent, the last one in the qualification stage. Maybe John Mendel can be a better opponent for Eidolon. The strategy from John Mendel is a bit different. It will focus more on a castle each time, and it will go for knights as Teutonic. And this castle will be down pretty fast. So many rams actually for Red. That's so aggressive. It stayed a long time with 2 TCs. The time required to get rams, and after this he started to build a third one. It's actually in Imperial Age with 4 TCs. It's playing pretty well. In my opinion, in the qualification stage, Phyrexx is a great discovering. Anyway, what made no sense to me in that game is when Eidolon went to attack before having reached Castle Age and lost its whole units while it just needed to wait 1 more minute to have bodkin arrows plus crossbows. It lost its whole army just before having got the crossbows upgrade. That's a shame, and the game would have been really different. Something differently easy to fix for Enmipho. And now 180 population against 22. It's time to say GG. Anyway, the bug with the university is definitely not the cause of those games lost. So we've got a last game, Viking plus Hans versus Hans plus Hans. That can be interesting. Anyway, why it can be interesting? Just because we notice that Phyrexx can attack the same opponent, it means that maybe one of the Eidolon will be able to take an advantage from its castle age time this time. The one which won't be targeted by Phyrexx. That can be an opportunity for Eidolon to do something this time. Actually, we've got Phyrexx having 3 points. If Eidolon wins that last game, it would have 1 point, and its last set will be against John Bendel. It's hard to say, but just imagine that Eidolon wins that game, it would have 1 point. If it wins 3-0 against John Bendel, it would have 4 points. Let's say that Odette maybe can win its full last games. Well, it's kind of difficult to see if it's still possible for Eidolon to win, to finish as the second rank in this group. Maybe it could happen. So let's go, man. Well, I like Phyrexx, but I really want to see Eidolon winning this game. Please, Eidolon, do something great. Manage to use carefully your crossbows and hurt your opponent. The lumber camp in a good position, same for green. That's definitely a good start for Eidolon. Okay, 2 more ships. The boar is gonna be perfected, hunted to the TC. Well, almost perfect. Almost. The gold is in a good position. The mill is fine in the back of the town. Just those 2 ships could be found and the start would be just perfect. Let's see what's happening for green. Green does have a not too bad lumber camp. This mill is very nice. Very nice. Close to the berries. It's already building its barrack and searching for its opponents. It's actually not going in the good direction. But anyway, it doesn't need to find its opponents that fast anyway. It just needs to get the crossbows, the botlin arrows, and after that, let's see. And the two last ships are found by blue. I've got a really good feeling this time for Eidolon. Okay, for some reasons it does attack with 2 militias, while it does have 3 actually. It's not reacting to the wolf attack. Right, it looks like militias does love to attack the mill. What's happening with the music? Phyrexx is actually taking the lead in the military population once again. And okay, this time Phyrexx decides to be aggressive. It didn't happen in the 1v1. So of course we won't expect green being able to defend against this aggression. And as expected, red is focusing the same opponents and its ally. It means that maybe blue can do something this time. That can be the key for the victory of Eidolon in this game. Red doesn't have any more units to defend, but at the same time it's already researching Castle Age, so it's definitely time for blue to do some damage on red. Eidolon doesn't have any retreat rule against the TC. Oh, that's hurting a lot. It's just attracted by the TC, it's not attacking the lumberjacks. Well, Red should have noticed that it was unnecessary to defend its stand with the crossbows. Blue was just suiciding its units in the enemy TC. Okay, we got 2 extra TCs for Blue. I'm not sure that it will help a lot. Red is actually retargeting on Blue this time, with 32 military units against 12 actually. 9. And green is out of the game. As expected, it was 1 versus 2. Impossible to counter. Okay, so let's say that Eidolon will require a lot of work before the last set. Hello Phyrexx, you're welcome, and you're definitely welcome to co-cast with me the next set, if you like it. And I think that Eidolon did show something better against Odette, definitely. And it looks to have some trouble to defend against aggressive AIs like Phyrexx. And I'm really surprised by the ability of Phyrexx to reach the Imperial Age in a pretty decent time each game, with so many military population trained and so many rams. And it's 40 population against 163 for red. I think it's time to say bye-bye to Eidolon for this set. Enmipho should have time to work a bit more on Eidolon to prepare the next gape, which is gonna be pretty hyped once again. In fact, John Mendel looks way stronger than this version of Eidolon.